Good morning, everyone. There's a question asked about the celebration of Pesach, the holiday of Passover. We celebrate our freedom from Egypt, from Pharaoh. But the question is, God said, I'll take you out of Egypt, and I'll take you to Mount Sinai, and I'll give you my Torah, and then you will serve God. And the question is, what kind of a freedom is this? Yes, we no longer have to serve Pharaoh, but now as Jews we have to serve God and obey all of his commandments. So how is this freedom? We still have a master, but instead of Pharaoh, we have God as our master. And the answer is, if you look at the physical world, you find 4 levels of life. There is domim, inanimate objects, like a stone. There's someach, which are things that grow. There are chai, things that are living, like animals. And medalber, which are the human beings. Now each one, or any inanimate object, water, it just needs existence. It just needs space to exist. But if you go to the next level of life, which is plants, if a plant just has existence but doesn't have water and sunlight, it cannot live. It needs more than just an inanimate object. Then if you go to an animal, if an animal has water and sunlight but doesn't have movement and the free reign, it is constricted, it is confined, because it has the ability and the potential to walk and to roam the earth. And then if you go to the highest level of creation, which is a human being, and you give them all the needs of an animal, food, drink, ability to be mobile, but they don't have the ability to think and to understand and to connect with God and with spirituality and have a purpose and a meaning in their life, then the existence of an animal would be very restrictive and confining for the human being. And so therefore the definition of freedom is allowing a person to express their full potential. And the greater your potential is, the more you need to be a free person. So if you're an artist by nature and you don't have an easel and paint brushes and you don't have the ability to paint, for you that's confinement. But if you're not an artist, you don't have that need and desire. And therefore, God says to the Jewish people, yes, I will be your God and you will serve me and perform my commandments. But that's your true nature and your true desire, to have a connection with God and a partnership with God and be able to be God's emissary and ambassador in this world. And therefore, by removing the yoke of Pharaoh and accepting the servitude to God, we actually find true freedom, because we find true and full expression of all of our faculties, not just our bodily needs, but our spiritual needs as human beings created in the image of God. It's a story told about a baby camel who turns to its mother and says, "Ma, why did God make us with these long, strong legs with these 3 big toes on the bottom?" And the mother says, "Well, because we camels have to walk in the desert for miles on end, so we need strong legs to walk on the sand with big toes to traverse the sand of the desert." And then the baby camel says, "Ma, why did God make us with these humps on our back?" And the mom says, "Well, because we walk for days on end in the desert with no water. So we store water in our humps that God made us with the humps." And then the baby camel says, "Mom, why did God make us with these long eyelashes?" And the mommy camel says, "Well, because in the desert there are sandstorms and they blow in our face. So God gave us long lashes to protect us from the sandstorms." And the baby camel says, "Mom, I'm confused." And the mother camel says, "What are you confused about?" And the baby camel says to its mother, "You said that God gave us long, strong legs with 3 big toes to walk for miles and miles in the desert sand. You told me that God gave us humps on our back to store water for days on end in the desert. And you told me that God gave us long lashes to protect us from the sandstorms that blow in the desert. But why, if that's the case, what are we doing in the Bronx Zoo?" To be confined means not to be able to express your potential. And God says, by going out of Egypt and receiving the Torah, that will give you a life by following the dictates of the Torah that are written to help man achieve their full potential and purpose and mission and fulfillment in this world. Have a wonderful day.